Hi everyone. So I decided to make a video about body image as I was processing something today. So this is not a video on body positive stuff that's coming out or body shaming. This is actually something kind of in between. Um, I guess like this is more geared towards women, but I don't know how men are about their bodies, but just from my experience and just talking with other women, how we are when we see ourselves in the mirror, when we put on some clothing, something maybe we haven't worn in a while, or something new. Like today, something new came in. I tried it on. That I was like excited to have, but things didn't go the way I thought they would. So so I was processing all the emotions that were triggered by me trying on these new clothes that I bought. And again, I don't know what men go through. So if you want to tell me, go ahead. But as a woman, if you've ever experienced this, where you're kind of trying to lose weight, lost some weight, maybe put on some weight, or just maybe you're okay with your weight, but like sometimes you put something on and those feelings get triggered again. So, what was going through me was, and I wrote it down, like I journal this stuff, and this disappointment that like I've been working hard to lose weight, and it's like, oh, again. But it was actually the item was a bit tighter than I was hoping it would be. I can see my belly, my thighs, all these things really emphasized, really tight. So all like a slew of emotions kind of just flooded, triggered about my flaws. I mean, I can just like list some of it. I was really upset about all those flaws being emphasized, like the roles. Um, like I'm not like a skinny person. I've always had curves. Um, One big thing is to notice whose voice are you hearing in your head. So when you're upset about something, is there's always going to be like a voice. For me, it was my mom mostly, because again, like if something is tight on me, it's going to be tight about around my butt. And my mom over the years always like commented on it and would like fixate and like make comments about my ass. It's too tight. And it just like she's like staring at my ass. It just made me feel uncomfortable. She would make jokes about it sometimes until like I just like go off on her. Like um it would be like also just like I'm not interested in your opinion, and so of course like in the moment of what I was trying to solve, it's like, oh my god, what would my mom say, what would she think of this? Then also maybe a little bit of my ex and his family from many years ago, who I was very skinny at the time, but was like constantly pick about what I ate, even though he was a heavy eater, but it's like because he's a man and he works out. Um, it was very convoluted. I'm not even going to go into it, but I definitely heard some of his voice and his family. Also, I had the voice of some commentators that I've been watching who, make comments about like, men like women that are skinny generally. So I'm like, oh my God, men are not gonna like me anymore at all. Will I be able to meet a man? All this stuff just like all at once flooded in, right? Fear of just even if I wear this in public, fear of being judged by just random people. Um, thoughts of like, I don't know if you've been through this, but like being around women who are just like naturally super skinny and they can eat whatever they want. Doesn't matter how old they are also. Um, and I'm like here eating like really healthy stuff and I'm gaining weight for some reason. It was so unfair. Like I did like 2 years ago, I did another master's program and we're like a group, we're always together. And these girls, like the whole class were just constantly bringing in unhealthy snacks for everybody. And it's like, and I would try like bringing something healthy, like an apple, grapes, all the time. I would be like almost teased for it. But I knew like I had some health stuff and I was gaining weight. I think I had like a hormonal thing. And it's like, this is so unfair. And it's like these skinny girls would get more attention. It's just, they're happier and they can eat whatever they want. They were eating like processed white bread, chips, just any kind of junk. It was like really, that really got to me. Like, this is so unfair. I'm trying so hard here and get nothing. So it's like that got triggered as well. Like I'm working so hard. In addition, my remembering that we are in the month of Gemini and processing a lot of stuff, my belly has been bloated more. Processing emotions. And in addition to that, I think my period is coming up. So it's like, of course, I'm going to be bloated. And so all of this stuff is just being triggered. Let me see if there's anything else. As I'm processing, I'm like, remember, these are like 3-dimensional issues. So whatever is going on with other people, what they can eat, what they can't eat, how you're viewed in society based on your weight, that's like a 3-dimensional thing. And again, I'm not saying go ahead and eat whatever you want. It's okay to be overweight. I'm not saying any of that. And I'm just saying kind of what happens when like certain emotions get triggered. So just the way I work through it is I mean, I journal, but I also I sat in the clothing, letting everything to get triggered. And I saw myself in the mirror. I walked around in it and allow myself all of that stuff to come up as I'm sitting in those clothes. I did the same thing like a month ago. I did a workshop where I needed to wear a bathing suit. And it was a bathing suit, like it was new and I like really liked it. But then when I put it on, I was like, oh God. I'm gonna be so judged, like I'm going to this workshop, there's gonna be like all athletic bodies there. All sorts of stuff was coming up. So I sat in the bathing suit and just let that stuff come up. It was interesting, like also when I checked it with my heart, like I asked my heart, like, why am I being so triggered about the bathing suit? The answer that I got wasn't what I thought I would get. I thought I would be thinking that I'm just like fat or not attractive or whatever. But I actually got a message that said, you actually like the way you look, like your form. The issue is that it might get more attention because of the curves, because it's not skinny. It's more emphasized, and the swimsuit is like, that's why I got it. It's more flattering and emphasizes like the positive things that I like about my body. It's just interesting, like things we like about ourselves. Sometimes we shy away with that because it will give us, it might get us attention. We don't want to get attention, kind of. It's like that fear of the spotlight. So with this new item, it's like, okay, my ass is being emphasized here. I'm going to get attention, positive and negative, like attention from my mom. I don't want to get it because I know it's never going to be positive. I won't say never, but I've had positive comments from her, but it's like, I actually don't really care. At this point, like, I don't care. Either it's positive or negative, it's still going to trigger me. And I think that's what it is, like when we're insecure, whether the attention is positive or negative, whether, let's say, you look nice, your curves are emphasized or whatever, a guy hits on you, or that would be like positive. It depends on the guy, the way he does it. Or another fear was like maybe the women would be jealous. That's negative. Either way, kind of afraid for either. That's kind of, I think, how it kind of becomes. Because I've heard this kind of similar stuff from clients who, whether the attention they had was positive or negative towards like a particular issue, it was viewed the same. It was still viewed as some kind of a false belief. So for me, whether it's positive or negative, it's still poking at, I'm not attractive enough, not good enough, I'm being judged, those kind of false beliefs. So in these moments I'm using right now, these triggers, the hell with the outfit. I mean, it was a cheap outfit that I bought it intentionally for the summer. I wanted to enjoy it, but I don't know if I'll be able to or not. But that's the lesson. Is more important, like what it brought out in me. And I was able to sit with it and process it. So I'm having a little hard time talking because I am very bloated. I am processing a lot. But I kind of felt like sharing this because maybe somebody would relate and maybe it will help to process those self-image feelings. Yeah, so again, like this little situation that seems so trivial, like trying on clothing, triggers like a slew of different emotions and beliefs. And again, it's just another opportunity to sit with it and list everything, because it's like when I listed this little incident was like this whole thing, all of that. That's what was brought up. And I'm sure it'll be brought up again later on. So I think this is the second time I'm doing this, just sitting with my insecurities about my body image. So I'm sure there'll be others, like each situation is just an opportunity. Yeah. So I would like to hear from people's experience, like how do you deal with body image? I think right now there's been a lot of 3D pushed on people of it's kind of more of like a feminist kind of thing, new age feminist, where they're pushing plus size models on people, that plus size models are 10 or beautiful and they can be as big as they want to. And I've heard stuff of like shaming men who didn't want those women, who didn't like them. So things are like in the 3D are going to extremes, it seems, not towards health. And so this is kind of an in-between kind of an approach where you're actually resolving the body image issues without actually physically doing anything. Like I didn't go, well, I did drink a smoothie right after. You know, that's no harm. Like I didn't go like push myself at the gym for an hour. But I think that's what happened. People get triggered. So like, oh, I gotta go work out. They overdo it. Then they go eat something unhealthy. So there's like no in between, no gray area, and the triggers or the emotions, the issues, what's underneath doesn't really get resolved, doesn't get released, doesn't get understood. It's just like constantly pushing yourself from one extreme to the other, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. It's one thing I realized when I lost 20 pounds last spring and then started gaining a few more pounds. I started chewing at myself, like looking in the mirror, like, oh my God, my ass. And I just like realized I just gained a few pounds back. So losing those 20 pounds didn't teach me to love myself at all. I started chewing on myself again, and it was brutal what I was saying to myself. So I just said to myself, I'm not gonna go on any kind of extreme program or exercise regimen. I'm gonna focus on the self-love. And the self-love is understanding what's underneath all of that, what's being triggered, and releasing it from your heart, from your body. And it takes time, takes steps. So I guess that's all I wanted to say. If you guys have anything you'd like to share, please do.